Love Them Knives channel. LTK here. Kansept. Kansept. Expect Kansept. They're good. They're good knives. And you know what? They blasted ever since they kind of blew away from Kaiser. I mean, the people left and formed Kansept. And so they're very much, I mean, they just remind me of Kaiser, okay? But the fit and finish and all that kind of stuff, collaborative designs, all the stuff they do, it's good. It's all good. So, no, I'm very happy with Kansept knives. There's a lot of them I really like, and this is one of them. This is the Shikari. This is the Shikari SBL. Okay? So Shikari BL button lock, right? Because the original Shikari was 9.3 inches overall length, Morgan Cohen's design, okay, but in a 4-inch blade. But this is 3.3 inch blade, under 8 inches, like 7.8 inches overall length. So this is much smaller, much lighter, and it's a button lock flipper, okay? So, and it doesn't have to look like your mom's tablecloth. But I like my mom's tablecloth, so I got this one. I don't know. It was kind of fetching, interesting. Of course, these are little, inserts here on the frame. Contoured titanium, S35 VN blade, which they'll say right there. Okay, and then there's the model number next to it. And of course, Morgan Cohen's and the Shikari SBL. I mean, it's not like billboarded all across the thing. Their little Kansept logo, that's it. The rest of it's just tiny letters tucked in right up next to the bolster. So, button lock, but it's not a big knife, okay? And this one's got a little bit of button stick on it, depending on how hard you want to bang it open. And I think maybe when button locks kind of will come and go with a little bit of button stick here and there, okay? But this one, I'm wondering if the actual coating might be part of the culprit there. And then with time, that's going to wear, and then it's going to go away. So at least that's been my experience with them. So I got a little bit of button stick, depending on how hard I bang it out there. Now, really, this one, it has no jimping here on this flipper tab. And the flipper tab's not real big, so it's not as intuitive, and I keep skipping over it. But you know what? If you push button, it actually almost better to do that than the other. But then you can just do the button, you can flip it out, closed, just with the button and not worry about the flipper tab. But however you want to do it, flipper tab, button lock, it's fidget friendly, that's for sure. It's definitely lighter weight and definitely easier to carry. But it was just the Shikari. When it first came out, it was a monster. And you can still get them, right? 9.3 inches overall length, 4-inch blade. And they're cool, And they were kind of like a bolster lock type thing. But this one's a button lock, and it is comfortable in the hand. It's big enough to fit my mitt, okay? And it comes in a nice box from Kansept, but make way here. Make way, because we're going to get crazy. The fit and finish is nice. The demon of the button lock stays and lives with us forever. Amen. But now see, it's not as pronounced now. It'll probably fade with time and wear, as all button lock issues usually do for me. And you got jimping here, right up here. Now, they didn't go way up, but they went up in here, thumb ramp type deal. But I like the overall design. And I think, didn't they say Morgan Cohen's is a fixed blade maker? So, but this maybe was an idea for a fixed blade at one time from him. I don't know. But there she be. And how much does it weigh? By the way, how much does it weigh? Well, let's find out. 4.5 ounces. Okay. So my LTK result knife is 8 inches overall length. It's 4.5 ounces. So yeah, about the same. 127 grams. Okay. Yeah. Let me see how fat this little sucker is, by the way. And let's put a tape on it to get that for sure. But then we'll put the calipers on it and see how thick that handle is. Now, down here, 3.5. Now, at the bolster, you see what I'm saying? 3.3 at about 87 millimeters. And 7.75, but really more like 7.8, let's say, overall length at right at close to 20 centimeters. Okay. Now, how fat is it in the hand? It's pretty thin. That's the same as a paramilitary 2 from Spyderco. So that's pretty slender at 12 millimeters. And then check this out, 3 millimeter blade stock. So that's pretty thin. And is it slicey? Okay. Righto. Okay. Yeah, it's got a good edge on it from the factory or out of the box. And there she goes. Yeah, that one, it had a little bit of stick, but now I'm working with it. No, not so much, so who knows. And the detent on this is another thing. It's either good or bad for you. For me, I could have dealt with detent being maybe a little lighter, and I'm not sure how most of you guys would respond to this. Maybe this would be right centered where you want it. Because really the situation with button locks tends to be that they tend to be a bit light on the detent, don't they? Let me see if I can grab a button lock like the Pyrite right here from CJRB. Okay. So let me see. Oh God, yeah. I mean, boom, just easy. But this one, you're pitching for the mats if you can slap that out. I can't even do it like this. This is really, I mean, and this is like nothing. Watch this. Not even, yeah, nothing, okay? And so, yeah, I'm just telling you, this one, that's pretty stiff. Now, that may be good for a lot of you because I think I've heard some complaints here and there on certain button locks that maybe they're just a little bit light on the detent, but this one, you won't be complaining about that. I promise you, especially if your knife is like this, I promise you, you won't be complaining about it. So, and you got a back spacer here. And these inserts are held in by a screw, so I guess you can pop them out. You could re-anodize this as purple, and you can have purple and blue, or you could, whatever you could do, you know? So you could jazz it up all kinds of ways. And it's not a very expensive knife either. It's not very expensive. I believe it's under 200 bucks, but well, unless you get the big Damascus banger. But I mean, if you look at the, yeah, $159, right? Didn't they have there was a little thing popped up. I'll give you the link to Kansept, but what are you paying then? You know, not much, right? This is the Damascus blade, by the way. So here's $189, and you got the black and white Damascus. It's titanium S35, so that's kind of on the high side. But if you got 10% off that, you'd get, you know, pretty cheap right there, about $150, $160, you know, all in. Custom fixed maker. Yes, I was right about the design. Here you go. And yeah, okay. So, and then it gives you the specs here. So 3.35 and 7.78, and I agree totally. So, but the ergos are fine, contoured, it's comfortable, pocket clips titanium. It doesn't eat away at the hand. I don't feel uncomfortable with that. I feel like the lockup is good. I don't trust a damn folding knife. I don't care what your lock system is. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to spine waggle with my fingers going across this part. I've seen guys do this. It's like, you really begging for problems. But no, I mean, so I respect all these lock mechanisms. It's nice that they do have a lockup, and then it's like trust but verify, you know what I'm saying? So I stay the hell out of the way of the warpath of the blade at all times if possible. So yeah, I mean, and you're cutting, you're pushing it open, you're not pushing it closed. You jam it into something and pull up. Don't do that. Don't do that. Pull it straight out if it's stuck, and then come in at a different angle, okay? Whew! I've cut myself enough times. I'm speaking from experience of being a complete dumbass with a blade. So yeah, don't do what I do or have done, because I've learned now. I've learned. But yeah, I mean, this is good. Fit and finish on this is nice. And you can get it in all the different types of, I showed you the variations. There's a bunch of different variations. So if you liked the Shikari, but you go, damn, that's a dog. That's a big ass dog. That's not really a, you know, a carryable. Well, this is carryable. Definitely carryable. So, and I like the blade design, everything like that. So, you know, I'm good with this. And where am I going to feel? Where am I going to feel my balance point? Ooh, I got to kick it back just right onto that nub thing to balance it right there. So that's your balance point on it, okay? Yeah, but fidget friendly, except no, they didn't do jimping here. And with no taller of a flipper tab, I think it would have been a good idea to put some jimping on there myself. But then you can go push button, and then again, see, that's real easy. So push button, not a problem. You just have to retrain your brain a little bit, because most of them I light switch when I do a flipper tab. But at least up here, you know, hey, it's providing an area to keep your fingers from slipping up over the bolster and onto the blade. Other than that, I like the look. I really do. So how do we do this, and are we going to rock and roll from both sides? Because that's what I've seen the last couple of Kansept knives that I've taken apart. They're not doing a captured pivot, but then again they have, you know, opening on both ends. So there's that. I mean, it's not a huge deal in that case, because you can just, you know, stabilize it from one side and kick it open with the other, you know, just like this. So that's fine. It's just, I do prefer a captured pivot, because then I don't have to come in the other side with this. But I mean, it's all doable. It's all doable. And there's the end of that. And then these, I believe, are number 6s. So let me get my little number 6 driver in here. Yeah, it is. So let's see what I really need to take off of here to get this apart. And of course, it's a button lock. I'm not sure I'm going to make the button any better, action any better by pulling it apart and putting it back together. Probably present a brand new surface to have to wear down and get with. Okay, there's that and this, and those are the same size, but this little nub right here, right there, nah, that's really short, so that's different. And so there's where we are. We got that off. So the rest of this should pull apart if we can release this, and then it all falls apart. And here's the button plunger, and you know what? I probably was wearing some of that apart, wasn't I? Yeah, see right there? Yeah, I was putting some wear on it, which means it was wearing in. That's exactly where it was catching. Okay. And here's your little washer with the race, and so bing, just like that. So you got the washers because you got titanium back here. And then let me see what we got here. We got bearings, so we got ceramic bearings front and back. We got your spring. There's your spring, okay? And man, it looks like I've been working on a 57 Dodge truck, doesn't it? And wow. And because Fords never break down, obviously. Oh, fix or repair daily. So, yeah, there's that. And there's that. So there's your little stop, which is interesting that it's open, right? That's strange. And there's your others, and they are holler, of course, because you got to drive a screw into them. But this is different. Maybe they're the same size, and so it was just easy to make them all the same and use one for a stop. What do you think? But there you be, right there. Obviously, there ain't no hookup in the front for a pocket clip like there is in the back, so it's right-hand tip-up only for you guys that are lefties. And that's the Disassembly. All right, here we go. The SBL Shikari button lock. Small, easy to carry, easy apart, easy back together. Yeah, detent maybe has improved a little bit. It's not quite as crisp as it was. Thank God. It definitely needed. It still ain't gonna do that, but okay. Feels a little bit better to me actually after disassembly and reassembly. So I'm good with that, and I love the design too. So there you go. The Shikari and my grubby paws all over the ano. With just a little Windex, you're in good shape. Love them knives. We love this Kansept. I love the design. Always liked the knife. Now it's super easy carry. So you guys, stay sharp.